Hey guys, Cody and Dan here from Protocase. You're probably wondering why we're dressed like this today, but we're here to celebrate the 100th episode in the Tech Tip video series. And today we thought we'd go over some of the most commonly asked questions over the last 99 episodes or so. And make sure you stay tuned to the end because we're going to do a fun little game. Alright guys, so let's get right into it. First question, should I mention or summarize my design modifications at the quoting stage?
If possible, absolutely. The sooner you provide your modification details, the quicker we can get your quote back, and it also helps our engineering and design service team apply your changes. I use the values listed in your bend table online. Why do the numbers not work for my design?
Well, the values that we have listed in our bend table pertain to a certain unique combination of a punch and die on our bending machine. Both of those pieces of machinery have custom sizes, so some of them may work for certain profiles, some may not. If you do choose a bend radius that you wish to pick in your design, there's not a 100% guarantee that it will work, but odds are that we will try to pick a bend radius that is as close as possible for your design. All right, next question. So why does the minimum bend value change when material thickness increases or decreases?
When bending thicker material, we need to use a larger die. And using a larger die, we have to place cutouts farther away from the bend to prevent stretching and deformation. Why can't you digitally print or silkscreen on the same side as PEMs and other protrusions?
Good question. So in our silkscreen process, we actually use a screen to apply the ink. This screen has to lay flat on the surface of your part in order for the ink to apply in a consistent manner. For digital print, our machine uses a printer head that travels along your part at a very close distance to the surface of your part. So if you have any protrusions like a bend or a PEM or anything like that, the printer head can risk crashing into it and causing some pretty good damage. Next one for Mr. O'Donnell. Is it important that I note critical aspects of my design at the quoting stage?
It is important that you know critical aspects of your design. That way we can determine whether or not they're manufacturable, as well as if we're able to suggest substitutes or alternative methods of manufacturing.
Missed.
All right, next question. Why do you send orders for approval?
Well, we send orders for approval for one reason. It's to ensure that you get your parts as intended with no surprises. We use our approval process to make sure that any modifications we got to make to your parts to ensure that they fit our manufacturing processes get approved by you first before we enter them into production. It also gives you a chance to request revisions if you don't like them or if you have some changes you want to make to your parts.
All right, everyone, last question. What is the difference between a standard height and a full height rack mount enclosure?
All right, so at Protocase, we manufacture our rack mounts here in a standard format with 1/8 of an inch clearance between the top of the cover and the top of the front panel and the bottom of the chassis and the bottom of the front panel. This just gives you a little bit of wiggle room when you're pulling that rack in and out of the server. When we refer to a full height chassis, it means that we take the top of the cover, make it flush with the top of the panel, and the bottom of the chassis, make it flush with the bottom of the panel. This gives you an extra 1/4 of an inch clearance inside of your design in case you got some tight spaces in there. However, if you do go this route, we do recommend using countersinks and flathead screws just to prevent any screws from catching on the rack when you're trying to slide it in and out. All right, now we're going to play a little game called This or That, Canadian edition. So let's see the first question. Would you rather a pet moose or a pet beaver?
Oh, I think I'd have to go with a pet moose. My uncle was actually a moose.
I'd have to agree with you there. I was fishing out my river last year. One of them beavers jumped up at me and gave me quite the scare. All right, next question. Maple syrup or poutine?
I think I'd have to go with poutine. I actually don't eat anything that comes from trees.
I'd have to go with poutine only because that's gravy, man. Poutine or donair? Or poutine donair? All right, next one.
Drive a snowplow or drive a Zamboni?
That's a tough one. I'd actually like to see a Zamboni driven through a snowplow. Imagine the explosion.
Yeah, I think I'd drive a snowplow. My uncle actually, he was a moose. He used to drive a snowplow.
All right, next one.
Pancakes or French toast?
I think I'd have to go with French toast on that one. I used to have a cat named Pancakes.
What happened to him?
Well, I traded him in for a dog named Waffles.
I think I'd have to go with Pancakes myself.
Good.
Yeah.
Last one. Justin Trudeau or Justin Bieber?
I'm going to have to go with Justin Bieber. We actually share the same birthday.
Are you a believer, though?
Not quite, but same birthday.
Well, I'd have to pick Justin Trudeau because I'm more of an Ed Sheeran fan myself. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next 100 episodes.